morning from Minehead. I am in this little covered shelter right by the seafront, waiting for a bus that's going to take me to Porlock. So I'm actually meeting a friend of mine who lives here in England, and we're gonna do this hike together. I'm not sure if she wants to be on camera, so I probably won't put her in this unless she's like, yes, put me in this. So a lot of it will probably just be, scenery today, and I'll try and do some voiceover, summarizing at the end. But this will be the walk from Porlock to Minehead. It's supposed to be, I think, just under 10 miles, and I think somewhere between 13 and 1600 feet of elevation gain. There's actually two different paths. There's the rugged coast path, or at least that's what used to be called. Now it's the official path. And then there's like what used to be the official inland path, but it's like more inland. So I don't know which one we're gonna take. It'll kind of depend on what my friend is feeling and also what the signage is like. Again, this time I actually have maps for both of them though, so I don't know. We might try to take the coast one. We'll see, but I'll bring you along. Hello, Editing Alana here, many months in the future. So watching this back, I realized I never actually closed it out at the end of the day like I intended. My friend did not want to be on the video, so that's why it is all just music and some short little snips of our walking day from what ended up being Porlock Weir to Minehead. So I had a vision starting in Porlock and then walking back, but the bus we got on was frankly like a 14 passenger van, and it was all a little chaotic. So we didn't end up getting out in Porlock. We stayed on the bus until Porlock Weir, which added about 3 miles to our walk, I think. Essentially we ended up going through this marsh, which was really cool. It was super flat, and there were some boardwalk sections and some cool buildings and some things like that. A really nice way to start the walk, especially since the weather was really foggy and misty and stuff like that. That shingle beach that you saw towards the very beginning, that is where I had my first major spill of the trip, or of walking the path at all. The rocks were really slippery, in the sense, not wet slippery, but moving slippery. And I was kind of going up an incline and I just came down. the rock moved under my foot and I landed on my knee, and my whole body weight and my pack weight all ended up on top of that weight. It was really painful, and I think I'm like 2-ish months removed from it now, and it's still sore. My doctor thinks I bruised the bone. So recovering from that, but hopefully nothing permanent. No one thinks it is. But it was definitely something that like I had to pause and take a moment. And I was really glad there was another person there too, to just kind of like be with me. But I got up and I walked the rest of the day, and I continued to walk for the rest of my trip. It definitely had days where it hurt, but I kind of powered through it. And moved on. So we had a great day walking. I do wish it had been clearer. You can see that it was like persistently pretty gross weather, at least until we got back to Minehead, and it kind of cleared up towards the very end of the day. But it was a lovely day. We hadn't seen each other since like 16 years, so it was great to catch up, and weirdly felt like no time had passed in some ways. So I'm glad I got to spend the day walking with her and catching up, and hoping to see her again when I go back to England, which probably will be next summer. But the walk itself was quite lovely, way more exposed than I was thinking it was going to be. And the new path, like the new coastal path route that goes over the old rugged coast route, highly recommend. I obviously don't know what the other version of it was, but it was really good. A little steep in spots, but nothing major. And it did dump me out right at the Ship Aground, which is the pub that I was staying at. So my friend and I grabbed beers and we hung out. And then I walked her back into town where she had parked her car, and she went off on her way. I did end up eating at the pub because I was just like, I didn't want to have to go back, take a shower, and then go back into town and get food. I was just kind of done, especially with my knee. So I had a very lackluster dinner there. Honestly, it was the only meal I wasn't super thrilled with. It was just kind of meh. But yeah, that was the rest of my day. And then I geared up, hoping to do the remaining chunk for the next day. I wasn't quite sure when I went to bed how my knee would hold up, or if I'd wake up the next morning and it would be super swollen and I wouldn't be able to do anything, but I was crossing my fingers. So that is the end of that video, and you will see in the next one that I closed the little gap between Linton and Porlock Weir.